First thing I would like to clarify to you is I test these kind of CD players like no one ever does. Hello everyone, welcome to Tabama Hi-Fi Review channel. Today I would like to share my experience of testing and using PL100 Pro, second generation of highly successful PL100. There are slight improvements, or some may say significant improvements over standard PL100 if you want to use it as a dedicated CD player or even using CD player volume control as well as headphone stage that come with it. Although it may not be major upgrade in headphone stage, but it's better than previous generation. Plus it has 4.4 millimeter balance out that can feature on this PL100 Pro. It can put out up to 200 milliwatts of power output if you are using 4.4 millimeter balance output from this PL100 Pro. So that is a lot better than previous generation. Headphone stage itself is get the job done. It has dynamic and vivid sound signature. Background noise control is not the reference level or any type of performance that I have in other dedicated headphone stages, but it gets the job done. In terms of signal to noise ratio and overall performance is highly acceptable, featuring Cirrus Logic CS43131 dual chip design. So mechanism, let's see how this mechanism works. Pretty nice mechanism, I would say, because it works like an automotive CD player kind of loading mechanism and it's pretty strong. I try to grab it back when I load it, right? So it's really hard to get out. I couldn't grab it back unless I break the arms inside. So that is a pretty good mechanism for $159 component. We used to pay these kind of CD decks in our cars for like $600-700 back in the days, like 10 years ago. Now all the CD players are gone in automotive market pretty much. Now we got affordable, good quality mechanism that handle pretty tough handling like I did. I drop tested. Plus I tested endurance 48 hours non-stop playing this PL100 Pro. That's how I test these kind of disc player in general, because I want to make sure the motor and mechanism and everything works perfectly. Repeat, shuffle, all the features are tested. Remote control that you can use most of the features. Only thing that I couldn't figure out from this remote control is eject button. I couldn't find which one is eject. So overall, when I test the endurance testing, 48 hours non-stop playing, it works flawlessly. Only noise that I can hear is when it starts spinning and the optical drive that picking it up, the starting sequence, then tiny bit of noise that I can hear. Other than that, it works flawlessly, quietly. Even when I dropped it pretty hard, the sound won't skip. So that is one of the pretty tough drive. So I tried in my system, pairing it with Stock Sound Beta 5 and Gallium Audio TS34 tube integrated amp, clean neutral sound with slightly warmer side of neutral sound signature. I would say slightly richer side as well in terms of tonal balance of this PL100 Pro is. So I tried that combination. I like the sound of it as it is came from the factory with Cirrus Logic. It's pretty much Cirrus Logic CS43131 sound signature. Overall, the sound signature that it can put out from this PL100 Pro is. So when I try with these towers and my Accuface E4000, it shows that total, where the weaknesses are. I know most of the people will not pair that kind of components in general, but as a reviewers, I have to test it how they perform, right? I connected balanced XLR cable directly to my amp, as well as single-ended pure silver cables connected to this TS34. So because I want to find out total strengths and weakness of this PL100 Pro. I know it's only $159 component, but it's my duty to give you pros and cons and real world performance of these players. That's my main purpose of doing the review. So when I tried this PL100 Pro with AccuFace E4000 combination, what I find is low-level listening is pretty decent. Depth and lower range of bass response can be a bit soft and lacking dynamic attack, not as good as deep as what I'm used to with other decks that I have, but it's acceptable as far as price and performance goes. So when I tried that in reference level, the bass get a little better, but upper mid-range and lower highs and those area notes are slightly edgy and less refined. So that is totally shows, right? But I'm not complaining, just stating the facts and my experience. That's how most of those CS43131 perform in general. That's why many companies end up using quad or octa cores or those kind of combination when they use Cirrus Logic, because they tend to have that upper range and lower highs region definition and resolution and refinement in particular is not the best, but it get the job done. Overall mid-range quality is pretty nice. When I try with Tube Amp, it offered that sound signature as well as this Beta 5 from Stuck Sound. So that sound sample that you will hear in this video, TS34 and PL100 Pro CD player and this Stuck Sound Beta 5 combination in this video. Standalone performance is totally acceptable for the money, right? But I want to see how it performs in transport mode, dedicated transport using digital out only. So I pair it with Galubito Divinity R2R deck. So when I pair with Galubito Divinity R2R deck and this PL100 Pro combination using Mitsubishi optical fiber optic cable directly to this PL100 and R2R deck setup, right? Sound is magnificent and beautiful sound that it delivers. Transparency that you can get from this transport if you are using it as a dedicated transport. Impressive sounding for $159 component. Better than price would suggest. Only tiny downside is there is no gapless playback. And another thing that I like to mention is power supply. When I try with regular wall watt power supply, it's okay. Sounded pretty good, right? Decent sound, acceptable. When I upgraded to i5 Silent Power 2 power supply, it improved in mid-range quality and background clarity. Those kind of areas are noticeably improved. But upper mid-range to lower highs refinements that's a limitation for standalone unit. That is the experience that I have in this system using this PL100 Pro. Overall sound quality, as far as my experience goes, totally acceptable and very good performance out of this $159 component, especially when I drop tested, and sonic quality when I pair with external deck, it totally shows the actual transport capability of this PL100 Pro. So if you want to spend under $200 for CD player or transport that can work well even in tough environment, I can easily recommend you to try this PL100 Pro. That is the experience that I like to share with you. Thank you for watching and happy listening.
bleeding, and I tell you why I blink. Whoa, now don't say nothing. Whoa, just let time pass. Whoa, just think of something. While I look at you. Oh, I love to look at you. Give me your shadows and all loose connections, and I'll tell you what I know. Give me a roadmap of your heart's directions, and I'll tell you where I go. Say nothing. Whoa, just let time pass. Whoa, just think of something. While I look at you. Oh, I love to look at you.